one pause. Hi. Wasn't that the longest one pause there?
Yeah.
The 30 seconds took no time, but the last 1 second. Hi, I'm Chef Bob, and I am beyond excited to be sitting here with my dear friend, Jilly from Jillycakes and recent Holiday War fame.
Yeah.
I knew you when you were just famous. And
Just
now,
like
you were just famous when I first met you, and I was super, I fell in love with you immediately. Now that, really, legit super famous, I'm beyond excited to be here chatting with you.
I think that when you first you solicited my doorway and went to our, did you ever imagine us to be here 6 years later?
I never did, because we met each other for like a hot minute in that whatever we were at, something we were invited to.
Yep.
And I remember saying, I'm gonna just go, and I'm just gonna go.
I'm
just gonna.
Hi.
Yeah.
Do you need flowers?
Yeah, exactly. So this is gonna be our holiday edition of Coffee Talk, and we have her holiday wars on. Yes. We are gonna talk so much about so many things. We're gonna talk about coffee, a lot of different coffee things. We're gonna talk about holiday wars. We're going to talk trivia. We're going to talk releases and exciting competitions and exciting
new products.
Lots of new products.
They've been begging me for years.
I have.
And we finally said this is the time.
It was that we had to wait till you were super famous. super. So,
I started in kid fan art from 6 states away. That's when you're enough to do this.
Yeah, and we're live. So here we go. We're live. Oh, you got friends?
Oh, I got friends.
You got friends? There. All right. So this is what live tea is. This is awesome. First, tell me where we are, because we're at someplace new.
Yeah, this setting looks a little bit different than you've seen before. Originally, we were going to do this live stream from the CD Guards as per our usual, but we are so close to the grand opening of Dolce. Which is a new restaurant and dessert bar downtown Orlando on Lake Eola, opposite the Eola Mall
Which
Company.
is right behind us.
And the Stardust Lounge is right behind us. So right on that
right here.
The southeast corner of Lake Eola is a gorgeous spot, like a 1920s inspiration. They're going to be serving breakfast, lunch, some entrees, and most importantly, Jillycakes.
Awesome. I saw some products that you have here that you're doing some photo shoots for today. And they are, of course, gorgeous because they're always gorgeous. But the flavors are phenomenal.
Yeah. So when they were sort of like, hey, we wanna take the product offering we know everybody loves Oreo, Red Velvet, Vanilla, and everybody still order those online. That's a problem. We can still make all the normal things. But for in retail, for sound clients, we wanted something that was like the next level up and really showcases a lot of those things that I've been learning through the years of television and food television and different techniques. And so we got some really exciting new cupcakes that are going to be just exclusive to the downtown location.
And the ones that I looked at here, they're so beautiful.
Yes. After we reveal some other stuff, we'll show those
more
quickly.
Cupcakes.
Yes.
Awesome. So what is the date? When can people come and enjoy?
The date when the doors will be open to the public is the 13th of December. So on that date, that is when this will become the hub for Jillycakes. So order pick will be here, as well as you can walk in retail. We got some 4-packs of these for seasonal.
I saw them. They're so cute.
So cute.
Great packaging.
Yeah, there's a twist on that too, but I'll tell you that in a bit.
Oh, but wait, don't buy yet. There's more.
There's more. And then also you can buy just one or two. You can get Lotto. They've got all kinds of other
we're in this world so used to seeing restaurants on the other side of the camera of what this looks like, and it looks like you're 30 days from opening. It's exactly what it looks like. So, but it was beautiful. It's going to be a really awesome spot. I love the location, and I am super excited to come someplace where it's this pretty and you can walk around and you can get all of that food. And I'm seeing some photo shoot food, so it's obviously Chef has done a great job. It's going to be beautiful. Yes. So let's talk about. What's
in your notes?
I made notes. So all the times we've done this, have I ever had notes?
No, because you like to just sort of win, and that's when we get in trouble.
So I got this awesome notebook from a dear friend of Kristen's and mine, while we were in Vegas, and it says,
Well, you need the affirmations, Bob.
well, when I saw it,
George Henry
I thought,
can't talk.
no,
He's a dog.
but can he not though? Because he does talk a lot. He's a talker. It says you are brilliant, and I knew that this was perfect for you. So not did it make look. There's a lot of notes, and my class schedule, and in third period I have recess. So
Cool.
I'm super. In context, I have mom and you, and there you go. And it already has me.
Forget about it.
Yeah, she knows where I am at any given moment anyway. So Holiday Wars. So let's back up a little bit. So when did you know that you were going to be on Holiday Wars? So you've been on 3?
I've been on 3 episodes.
You've
so
won
far.
all 3.
I have won all 3.
Yep.
It sort of puts a target on your back, though.
Oh, you're totally. The
4th
minute I
week,
finished
it makes
watching
me very nervous.
your episode last night, the minute I finished watching it, I said, "Did you notice all the other people? They all hate her.
Oh,
They
yeah.
absolutely hate Jilly and her team. And I love your team. We'll talk about your team, but I love your team.
Feel the
the
eye
lasers,
daggers.
yes.
It was almost, and a lot of those shots, I said, I really appreciate being able to watch it because first of all, when you're in it, you're just get it done and then cry and die back in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And so seeing the replay, the early stuff at the very beginning of the episode is like canned shots. It's like laugh at this, smile at that, have the judge, whoever, say something on the teleprompter again, right? Mm-hmm. So that's all very canned, and to me, who's been in entertainment for a long time, that's obvious to me. Seeing like, oh yes, they were going, that does sound fun. But then you get to the end of the episode, and those reaction shots are so raw and so real. Yep. And I think so when you watch the reaction shots over the progression of the last 3 weeks, you see the Scrooge episode, and it's like just joy. We're like, oh my God, we did it. It's great. We won. This is crazy. This is amazing. Then the reaction shots from the second week from Reindeer Snowball Party, you're like, I can't believe it. Like, it was just utter shock. Yep. And then last night, it's like oh my God, we have to watch out for snipers.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the reaction shots are what I watch because I adore you and I love watching you. Like, your facial expressions are priceless. So I just watch you. And there's a reaction shot I'm going to ask you about when we talk about the episode. It's yours and your teammates, but it's not about you. And so we'll talk about that. So I'm glad you brought that up. So let's jump in.
Let's just dive into the notes.
Dive right into the notes. So for the Christmas Carol, the Cake Miss Carol. So things that I absolutely loved on that episode of the cake that you guys made was first the Vespa.
The color,
classic
teal, the vintage
perfect.
Turquoise color.
One of the judges, and I'll never remember any of their names, but one of the judges mentioned the leather seat, how authentic and real it looked. Everything that you do, very authentic and detail oriented, which is one of the things that I love about you and your work. But that Vespa, it just blew it out of the park.
Also, I think we just have the wildest ideas as a team, and I'm super. Not a lot of people know, but prior to filming that episode of Scrooge, Vanessa, Justin, and I had literally met face to face for the first time about 48 hours prior to that.
And none of the teams knew each other.
Nobody can know each other. And I feel like they don't really tell you that. They kind of just imply everyone's been best friends for years.
Right.
And so that's really hard because, Justin's coming in from LA and Vanessa's coming in from upstate New York and me from Orlando. And it's all I just met you. How do we work together? What skills do each of us have that are going to fit the puzzle of getting this thing done in the 7 hours?
Right. There's a lot of dynamics there, a lot of emotional dynamics. There's a lot of, and that's by design, I'm sure, because it does make for great TV. But it's new and different for you because from Cupcake Wars, you
get to bring your own team.
You knew your people. I mean, they were your people. So that's a different comfort level. And then it's literally us against the world. Here it's us against the world, but I don't even know if I like you.
Right. And I have to trust you that you're going to get your stuff done and it's all going to
one element together. Goes south and that's it.
Yep.
So, all right, so the Vespa I love, but what I really one of the things I really loved on that cake that you made was the clock. I love the clock. Like, I couldn't stop looking at the clock. So I have a technical question, which I'm sure people are going to have technical questions, is tell me about the detail on the clock. How do you do that?
So the clock motor was actually something that Vanessa had brought in her suitcase. So she had made a cake in Central America, somewhere on the island. She'd like been flown there to make a travel themed cake.
Okay.
And the cake literally had like a Boeing airliner,
Gotcha.
like
that
flying
spun around.
Gotcha. So but that has an offshoot, and you see we used that same motor again for the alien baby up on the top. So with that one, we gave it the little cantilever extension. But we were like, hey, when you go, you're kind of just like, what might be useful to me? I know that these shows have a lot of like lights and motors and working parts and moving parts and coal smokers and all this stuff. And so you're like, well, I'll just pack everything. If I use it, I use it. If I don't, I don't. But at least I have all these random doodads to sort of pull from when they start giving you these bizarre tasks. So the clock motor was actually the original motor from that airplane. We took off the extension so that it just turned around itself instead of turning around like this. And it was great. And Justin is 6'4" tall.
Thank God.
And so for him, when they started putting it down into the thing, and him being like at the extended end of his reach, now we of course have like dimension parameters and all this stuff that they don't tell viewers at home. It has to be like at least 36 inches tall, at least this many inches wide. And so you're like, take a 6'4" guy, a 36-inch podium. Like that cake had to have been
9 feet tall.
Yeah, 9 feet to the top of that clock. So
wow,
that's crazy.
That is way crazy. So one of the judges, I've noticed consistently every episode, has been very critical of your cakes.
Yeah. She
like knocks your cake every time. And so we'll talk about that, but there has to be, and I'm just going to ask this as a question. Does there have to be something that's not great that they have to give you feedback on?
I honestly don't know, but we can speculate that if they can't say anything negative about the visual, then it's the sort of praise sandwich. You don't want to just be like, you guys did great at everything, because there's always room for improvement.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even
absolutely. And so on this episode, they knocked your seams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I'm looking at this masterpiece. I love everything about it. It's just, everything about it is great. And she had to knock the seams. And I literally was like, really? We're going to knock the seams on this? Is that where we...
I think the thing is, for me, there's a lot of details that the viewers at home don't see. And I almost wish that there was like a behind the scenes, like up close shots. Because like in the snow, there was like a track of the tire. Like just stuff that you can't really see with the stage lights and the faraway thing.
And the critical editing. I mean, there's only so much.
Like my favorite is the wafer paper garland. So I had made a really small section for around the clock post for that first Scrooge episode, and then I made about 18 miles of it around LED lights for the aliens last night. And and it's like they don't. While we're shooting all of that, it's like, how are you doing that? What's the technique that you're using on this? And so you spend a lot of time with exposition on these things that just completely end up on the cutting room floor.
Right.
And I said, the only shot you saw of me even working on it is like 18 miles of it strewn out on the counter, and me just like, am I still making more light garland? Great. Like, when did she make the other 18 miles of this? Yeah. So
for me personally, one of my favorite parts of that whole episode was the cold smoking aspect.
You know where I got that from.
And so that was a surprise for me.
It was an homage to Bob.
Thank you. I saw, I was like, and Krista looked right at me, and she said, yes, that's because of you, Bob.
Because of you.
It's all the acknowledgement I need. Yes, that was because of you.
Because at your coffee launch, you smoked fruit and custard and things out in the front of the art museum, and I was like, this could be done to cake 100%. That was the day that I was like, someday I'm gonna have a need for this. That's why when I'm like packing up my stuff to go to Holiday Wars, I was like, Steve, you don't need to make cocktails, Mom.
No, we're good.
We're good. I'm gonna take this smoke.
Yeah, I was so proud. I had such pride when I saw that. and that they acknowledged it.
Yeah.
I loved it. So you win that episode.
We won that.
What happens immediately after you find out you win the episode? Emotionally, physically, literally, like, people want to know. I know people want it. People ask me this all the time. So what happens when the camera turns off, and what happens?
So immediately after they say, like, this is the winner, or they shuffle you back to the green room, and you're just like, I mean, I have some pictures that obviously before I couldn't share. That's like Justin just lying dead on the floor. We didn't have any furniture. We had like no chairs.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
They're like, he's just dead on the floor. I started throwing snacks at him because we had like a craft services area, and I was like, "Are you hungry? You didn't eat in the last 9 hours. Here's some snacks." And so it's just like Justin lying on the floor with snacks strewn around him.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you sort of just, I think it's the roller coaster of emotion, because you're like, right when you find out, you're like, holy crap, we just won. This is an incredible achievement and a milestone. And then you're like, wow, so excited. And then you're like, oh my God, we have to make another cake.
And then down. And then you crash from the exhaustion, the mental and physical exhaustion of that last 12 hours.
And then you do it all again the next day.
So it's the next day.
Yeah. So we shot everything in succession. So we would be doing like an episode, and then like Justin would do his interview stuff the following day, and then right into the next episode shoot. And bless the judges, because 2 of them, Shinman and Artie, were on Halloween also, which they were shooting in tandem.
Right.
So they didn't have a day off for like 3 months, I think.
Oh my gosh.
But bless them for still looking beautiful every day.
So next day we get into the Snowball Fight.
Yes.
Super fun idea.
So this is
how did that tell me how that came to be?
So when I was a kid, as parents do, they write you kids,
when you were a kid?
An actual child living in my parents' house. Like,
okay, now I understand.
Child.
Now I got the timeline.
Not current me making Steve write Santa letters, me as an actual child with my parents. So, you write to Santa, and then Santa writes back on your letter, like, you've been really nice. Now, sometime around when I was like 8 or 10 years old, Rudolph decided that he was going to join in on the letters. And Rudolph would always have like a kind of a hip, radical Ninja Turtle sort of vibe to him. His writing was very angular, and like he was like the cool, hip sidekick to Santa. The teenage, like, yeah. And I know you know that I used to be a ski instructor for snow, not for water. And so it was sort of like a little bit of a manifestation of what would a teenage reindeer look like if she were in this Snowball Fight, and then also like me as the puffer jacket reindeer.
Yes. So I have a note. Puffy jacket.
Yes.
Puffy jacket was one of my favorite puffy vests right here.
Yeah, I think I actually.
And the snowboard. Were my 2 favorite physical aspects of the cake that you made, the details.
Vanessa melted the peppermint candies, the little circle starlight mints, melted them into this like gorgeous epoxy snowboard thing, and then she gelatined the whole board, so it looked like it was like varnished like a snowboard.
It looked like legit real.
It's great, and like that's what I'm saying, the stuff that gets lost in translation, like the gun, the snowball gun has like an additive chamber that had snow inside that you can't see. There was goggles that had been blown off with another snowball inside. And so just a lot of small details that don't get shot, don't make the airing, which I wish people could see.
So isn't it, tell me about your emotions about, so the episode is done.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, you love it, you win, everything's great, and it's exciting.
But then
what happens to the cake?
Oh, so
there you go. What happens with the cake?
The cake gets torn down.
Isn't it sad?
It's a little bit sad, but also, so they offered to tear it down for you.
I would have that because I couldn't just kill my child.
The problem is that we needed a lot of the support structures. We had like Lego parts of pipes inside of her that we needed, and that came out of Scrooge, that went into the reindeer, that then needed to go into the aliens.
The alien, yeah.
And so we're like, we can't leave any screw thing or flange or anything behind. So we were tearing them apart, and you sort of.
It just crushes my soul.
Yeah, we took a lot of pictures with like Peyton the penguin holding him before he went into the trash, and.
Oh God.
Sorry, Peyton.
Yeah.
You were a good penguin buddy, but.
We love you.
Yeah.
You did.
A couple of the things I did take sentimentally. So little Jimmy and his dad, Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
I have that.
Okay,
and
good.
I do have Space Ginny also.
Perfect.
So,
well,
so
that's
a couple
awesome.
things that were small and could fit like in suitcases. I did take those for sentimental value, but the big stuff.
For the massive collection.
Yes.
They get added to the. Did you inventory them properly?
Yeah, added to the rocket logo from the Cupcake Wars fan favorites. Added to the boat flag from the first one.
Perfect. So, do you think that you'll ever find the Goldilocks?
I might.
Of this cake.
We might.
You know, this adventure that you're on. It was a great analogy. It was a great reference. The Goldilocks. Like, where is it? Okay, it's a little too savory. Okay, it's too sweet. How is your cake too sweet? First of all,
I think the other issue too is that I'm not baking with my equipment, not baking in an environment or altitude that is the same as I'm used to. So, without divulging where they do all this TV magic, it is not in Orlando, Florida. So I think
closer
that,
to the North Pole.
Like by the time we get into next week's episode, we were on like 8 straight days of no sleep, no breaks, no real time off. So you're kind of just like anything you can do to get it done. And I think getting out of Aliens after the third sort of like not quite there miss on the cake plan, where we were going so hard on the visual, I think that we start to edge into that balance territory as we approach episode 6, 5. Yeah. It's like 6.
Yes, as you approach 6. So I'm imagining that, you know, I think that in the last episode, it was, well, we'll talk about it in the last episode too. To close out 4, I think it became clear to me that you were beginning to now think about, it's not going to just be the prettiest girl wins.
Correct.
It's going to be the prettiest girl who's really smart and also has talent.
Exactly.
That's the one who's going to ultimately.
And again, it takes
and a lot of
that
luck.
groove. And I think I was taking a lot of that very personally. They cut a lot of the crying, but after like the judging happens over a period of about an hour and 15 minutes. So the 2 seconds that you see cut into like this comment, that comment, thank you, have a nice day, Bakers in Toyland, is a long process when we're physically there witnessing it and all the tasting of
gotta be emotionally draining.
And you can sort of see it a little bit at the end of episode 4 that I was like not okay, and Vanessa's like, you did fine, it's fine, we'll deal with it, it's fine. And so I feel like some of the other teams are having like one person make filling, one person make cake, one thing, and I was doing all of that and putting together alien trees and things. So it's a lot of pressure, but what I think right now we're at like the curtains just come down on intermission, and the most exciting stuff is going to happen in Act 2. So.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about episode 5 so that we can talk about
all
new and exciting things.
I'm like
off
looking
set.
at all the
Yes,
stuff
I know.
off camera.
So episode 5, my favorite so far, and one of the reasons that it was my favorite is because of the chinny, the alien chinny,
the little space chinchilla.
The little space chinchilla. So to not know you, that would be really cute and awesome, and I'm sure fans loved it. But to know you was to see that chinny and be like, it became personal for me because I knew. Because
you're like, I've seen pictures of the actual chinchillas.
Yes.
And we did a lot of exposition on that got cut as well. I had submit photos of like the girls with their little Christmas tree and like, but then they ended up not using any like personal photos after that first episode. And so, I have chinchillas, and that was directly inspired by, we'll say Allura, because we know Adora wouldn't put up with any of that.
No, she would not. She would have went. She would have went chinchilla crazy on some other. people. And that would have been that.
Yes, but that was very personal and a cute touch to that episode.
It was. So, so now we're going to get into some more technical questions.
Yes.
So, is the advice that the judges give the contestants as annoying in real life as it is to me when it's not really advice and it's direction?
I will say that we didn't know what they were saying to any of the other teams throughout this process, only what they're coming around and saying to us. But I will say that when they did the mid-round check-ins, anytime they gave feedback at that point that we could physically implement, we tried to make it happen. So I think that even if some of it was oh, you took it too far, well, at least I didn't ignore the no.
Right, exactly.
I'd rather take the feedback, implement the feedback. If you were nah, never mind, it was better the old way, cool. But I took the advice that you gave me and I didn't just say oh, yeah, that's
yeah, whatever, it's my cake.
See you later.
Yeah, exactly, which I'm sure would not go over well.
Yeah,
No. And so, speaking of that, so the Santa letters.
Yes.
The dreaded Santa. I cringed every single time.
I will say, so up until this point, the Santa letters have been, at the time, devastating.
Right.
Looking back, I was like, can we have more Santa letters like we had in the first few episodes?
Yeah.
Because next week's is wild.
Really?
A Santa letter that you wanted to immediately put postage back to sender.
And say no, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you, Santa.
No,
so
thank you, Santa.
So as I suspected, they're gonna get worse.
They get much worse.
He goes into bad Santa.
Yeah.
The
Evil
Billy
Santa.
Bob Thornton version.
Yeah,
versus Burl Ives.
It's something, because up until this point, it's all just kind of decor-ish, change that a little bit, add a little detail here, put another little character there, and then next week is no, because especially since we're used to how the Santa letter operates, at this point we're oh, it's going to be a doodad in a box or a light thing or something we have to find space for. Next week, wild. It's
gonna, and I get that, it makes for good TV, and I understand it, but it's also going to add to an element of results. Yeah. As we know in real life, things happen and things shift and things change, and it's how we react to that determines ultimately whether we're successful or not. So for Alien Christmas, I had to assume that was a really fun theme for you.
We loved Alien
because
Christmas.
It was evident in the work that you did.
We had a good time making it. I think that, and again, because this was our third go at this, we sort of had found the groove of okay, Vanessa, stick to this sugar stuff, make the faces for the babies. Jill, do the cake stuff. Justin, make it
just
tree
be tall
guy,
and do
just
Justin.
make it tall and do Justin stuff.
Yeah.
Home Depot stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the first time that we really found a groove as a team, that we weren't kind of having to check in every minute going are you done with that yet? Where are we at with this? Because you could trust I don't have to worry about it. Vanessa's going to have those babies done in time to put on the cake. So
it was, I think, a really just a beautiful.
We were much more gelatinous as a team at that point.
It was really clear that was the case. So at the end of the episode, I personally disagreed that the Gumdrop girls lost that, and so I had to watch it 3 times. I had to tell Kristen, "Can you just back up? I want to see Jilly's face again," because it really personified the fact that it was live and it was real. Because I know Vanessa looked back and said something to you, and it was I don't even know how that happened. Was that what really happened?
Yeah, I think, well, like I said, everything that happens in the end is all 100% on the fly reactions. Those are not canned like the stuff at the beginning of the day. And so I think after Ninja Bread from the Snowball episode, we really thought that it was that Gumdrop Gals was going to be neck and neck with us because they had a similar style and art style and composition. And that I think that sometimes because the teams are all random strangers, that can cause underlying current problems. So I think that they were having some disagreements amongst the team members, and that made it harder for them to kind of execute
It came through.
their vision.
Yeah, in the overall result. I was sad about it. I thought they did it because I thought they did an exceptionally good job in that. And I think you have to take two alien flavors that wouldn't normally go together. That's just a crapshoot.
And you know me, when they said 2, I was like, that means 9.
Yes.
Or else it's not going to be enough.
Exactly. And so it was a little arbitrary for me. So can you share anything moving forward that since we're live, is there anything you can say about the remainder that the world wants to know that you're allowed to say?
Well, like I said, I think that the best it happens in this second act. So I think there's a lot more. We really start to get a nice humorous vibe as a team as we relax a little bit into not just worrying about getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
Our individual personalities really start to come through on that. And next week, I don't know if anybody caught the tail end of the teaser for next week, but I just say we're going to need a lot more wine than we've got.
I did. I heard that, and I immediately said, "Well, that's an easy fix. I'm sure we can fix that." So just adding. So just so I understand it, I'm hearing correctly. We're going to add wine
to anything.
Everything. And we're going to pour that on top of 8 days of no sleep.
Yes.
Excellent.
Which is like 11 of days of no sleep by the time we.
By the time you get to the wine. Oh, that's awesome.
So.
Well, I'm super excited about that. So
I
have one trivia question for you. Since you're like a big Food Network chef now, which of these celebrity chefs I'm about to name are not technically chefs? They've not been trained classically. There are more than you would think, but I'll randomly grab some, and you tell me which one of these.
Okay.
Gordon Ramsay,
mm-hmm.
Rachel Ray,
mm-hmm.
Ina Garten,
mm-hmm.
Martha Stewart, and soon to be here locally, Guy Fieri.
I feel like the easy answer, you want to say Guy, because it seems like he's not the classically trained guy. But then I feel like it's a bait and switch. Like it's probably Ina or Rachel who are like the TV personalities who just happen to work well for television.
And your answer would be? Rachel. So it's a trick question. Because none of them are classically trained as chefs.
Look at you. Well, I'm not either, so that's great. We'll just add to the pile. Put my name in the next time.
So first we have these absolutely adorable coffee cups, which Dolce will be. I know as soon as I saw them, and the espresso machine,
the gold, everything
and all of that
really works for me.
Yep, the decor is spot on. So we're going to have our lovely assistant refill these for us because we are going to talk all things coffee here. This is this one. I'm going to finish that one. This is technically my coffee cup, but I was told by all the field people I was not allowed to use it because I look like a child in a cartoon.
See, like that, you say that's your coffee cup. That's my cocktail cup.
Yes, that will be the film. Yeah, they're all nodding.
Nodding
Absolutely.
Off camera.
Absolutely.
That's 100% true.
So rolling into coffee
yes.
and new products
yes.
and exciting things, tell me what it is that you have going on that you can now announce what's going on.
So I think as long as I've known you that you were making coffee products.
Okay.
You said to me, I want to make a Jilly coffee. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, okay, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds kind of nice. Maybe not. And then I sort of had this opportunity on TV, Food Network, and I said, maybe right now is the time to do that Bob coffee collaboration. So, announcing for the first time, but we can only kind of announce it. So, yeah, so this is the Jillycakes limited edition blend of Chef Bob's classic coffee roasts, which are delicious. And it's blurred out because this coffee is inspired by a future episode of Holiday Wars that has not yet happened. So
we can't tell you what it is.
we can't tell
and
you
it's
what
actually
it is yet.
blurred out. Our marketing teams are so good.
They actually blurred the label.
It out and made a new label.
Yes.
And there it is. And on the back is the super fun story of
me and you.
It's our story.
It's our story
It's
on the
our
back
story.
of the
It's
bag.
like a little hallmark moment for everyone.
And some gorgeous, a shout out to Jacqueline Stewart.
Who did this?
A friend of mine, she's an independent artist. Her name is Jacqueline Stewart, and she made this little like Sailor Moon inspired version of me with my little coffee cup and my cupcake.
Yes, or bourbon cup, whatever.
Bourbon cup and cupcake.
Mm-hmm. And so
the thing I will say, we can't tell you what the actual flavor name is, but it's like everything that's good about baked goods and coffee mixed together. It's got those like cake notes, spices. So if you're a fan of cake, you'll like this, even if we haven't told you what it actually is yet.
You're gonna love it. I can guarantee you're gonna love it. I made it, so I know what it tastes like. And
I've tasted it.
It is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So we use cheers to your new coffee.
To the new coffee.
Jilly's coffee. So can you even imagine anything else that would go better with your cupcakes
than
your coffee?
And yeah, no, it's true. And so you had given me the first sort of test bag a couple weeks ago. And I've been doing nothing but drinking coffee in various versions and cakes.
And so one of your favorite versions is a cold brew.
Oh, the cold fashioned, as you call it. Yes. Another inspired by Bob.
Our director producer over here is laughing and giggling because he is a huge fan of all things coffee, bourbon, and Jilly and I. So we put them all together in one glass.
I will tell you, again, this might allude to what the flavors profile of this is, but the cold fashion that I make is Jillycakes cold brew. So brewed, and then cookie butter syrup. So like Tarani.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Or Monin, one of those brands of syrup, coffee syrup that's cookie butter flavored, and of course bourbon.
And
2
of course
ounces,
bourbon. Always. That has got to be phenomenal.
No less, maybe more.
Perfect. So speaking of flavors and collaborations.
You have a lot of new flavors and things.
We have so much coffee going on. We've been so busy with our travel schedule and our events and everything everywhere that I've been remiss in talking about all of the coffee things that we have going on.
And we're getting into gift giving season.
Yes.
So that's why we wanted to sort of announce this ahead. This can be shipped
anywhere.
I would assume 48, maybe 50 of the states.
We shipped coffee to Canada today.
Then we can ship it.
Yeah, if you want it,
I do have a Canadian viewer, so she'll be happy
a Canadian
to hear
one?
that.
Yes. We ship to Ontario, Toronto, and I don't know where else.
She's in Ottawa, I think.
Ottawa. We've shipped to Ottawa
that's
before,
like just
and
above
Saskatchewan,
Michigan.
which I just like saying. Saskatchewan. So yes, our friends north and south of us are
cool. So this can be shipped out to you. So if you can't get a cake in the mail, which you can't because that's crazy, and we can't trust the post office to do that safely.
We can barely get it down the road.
You can experience all of the Jillycakes flavor notes combined with the best coffee that you've ever had.
Absolutely. So my next favorite thing that we're going to talk about was I have so often been told how much our fans of our coffee.
The smells.
The smell of coffee. The smell of the coffee, the aroma, the smell of waking up to fresh brewed coffee. And especially our flavored coffees. Our Pear coffee in particular has an incredible aroma to it, and our Creme Brulee, which I absolutely love.
The Pear is a shock to me. When we did the launch event, I made the cinnamon pear cupcakes for you with the marzipans. And that was like, you're like, pear and coffee? That sounds wacky. That sounds like putting sweet potato and goat cheese in a cake. Why would anybody do that?
Why would anybody do that?
And it was like everybody's favorite. They were going hog wild for the little pear cupcakes and the pear coffee.
So, and they do. And still, the only coffee maker in the world to make this pear flavored coffee. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I mean, if you can smell this.
I know. If you wanted to smell it, you know what you could do?
Light a candle.
And look.
Oh, there's little beans it. Oh man.
Isn't that awesome?
That is a delight. I love the beans on top. It's such a nice touch to like setting it apart from every candle
This
on the
was
planet.
so Noelle Monroe, who is God, that smells so
It's
good.
So good, yeah.
I
can't have candles because the chinchillas will light themselves on fire.
I know, like purposely and out of spite, I think.
Out of spite.
Because they're
mostly.
angry about something. So Noelle Monroe and Noelle's Candle Company and I collaborated to make these coffee-scented candles. And we have been collaborating for quite some time to get it just right. And she struggled with the same thing we struggle with, which is getting it to be what we want it to be.
How much?
It's super, yes, to get it perfect. and she nailed it. So we chose to do
you have
3.
a few.
We have 3. Yes, we've got 3. But wait, don't buy yet. So we have Creme Brulee.
Oh, that's Steve's favorite.
I know. And look,
he's slowly becoming a convert to the Jilly coffee, but he loves the Creme Brulee.
So his own wife's coffee, he has to get himself around that.
Yeah, I see him secretly sneaking into the Creme Brulee bag and grinding that, being like, yeah, I'm having the Jill coffee, sure.
Yeah, it's great.
No, he loves the Creme Brulee.
Yes, and again, the beans. So she came to me and told me that she wanted to put coffee beans, actual raw coffee beans on the top, and would that be okay? Would that work? And I said, oh, it's going to work phenomenally. And so when you burn the candle, which is an all soy wax candle, which is great, it actually burns the coffee beans.
So you get that like roasting
and you get
the beans.
Literally roasted coffee beans along with the flavor scent. And then because it is Chef Bob's,
where's
Bob's
the
coffee.
bag? It's my favorite bag.
Oh my God!
I gifted it to my dad for his birthday because it has the silliest picture of you, and I can't stop laughing about it. You with this giant knife, looking so threateningly non-threatening.
I'm only non-threatening to you. We had to go to the worst parts of town to do these photo shoots. I did this photo shoot with John Harrell, the artist who did all the artwork on all of these
John's
bags.
finest work, only eclipsed by the carrot cake, which then has this same photo with a carrot cake where your knife goes.
That's an actual cake. I know.
Sure it is.
It is. It absolutely is. He ate it, so I hope it was. Yeah. But so now you can actually buy independently or together these incredible roasts with matching scented candles. All of the information will be all over our social media so that you can do that. But I wanted to especially thank Noelle Monroe and Noelle's Candle Company for collaborating with this with me, because it literally just gives you, if you don't want to have a cup of coffee but you really love the smell of coffee, it is legit the exact scent that you would have if you brewed the coffee. So I absolutely love that we did that.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for people other than me and Steve to get to drink this coffee too.
I am too. 4 people in the world have drank that coffee.
Yeah.
And that's
true.
it. There's only 4 in the world.
Friends have tried to, like, they knowing that it's in the house, have tried to be like, can you brew us a little bit of that? I'm like, no, it's secret. Can't do it yet.
And we literally, on the way here, so I had a, and we went on air a few minutes late because I had a Ron Burgundy anchorman moment getting here, where if I didn't get here, the show was going to start and I was not going to be here.
Right.
And the lovely Jilly would have had to carry the whole show. So one of the reasons for that is that we were picking up your coffee.
Yes.
So this coffee
is just fresh today.
It's literally fresh roasted today, and it's ready. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, and we're gonna open pre-orders for that shortly, and then we are gonna give away a couple of bags today to people who've watched or been watching. How we want to handle
So
that.
go on our social media and see what our marketing teams put together for the contest.
Yep.
Which we don't know because
we don't know.
So we can't influence the winning in any way, shape, or form. And then winners will be chosen, and coffee will be sent, and you will be the very first people to enjoy it. If you want to be those people, comment on our social media pages. Yes, I want to be those people. And then we'll know that you have a burning desire to try this coffee, which you absolutely should.
Which you absolutely should.
Which you absolutely should.
You do have one other secret coffee.
I have one more secret coffee. And it is one of my collaborations we started over a year ago with the artist Wyland.
Yeah, the big whales on buildings.
The big whales. He has 100 whaling walls around the world. Yes, we've all seen it. We all have seen it, yes.
The Boston one we used to drive by every week going to and from Maine. We'd be like, there's the whales.
So that my meeting with Wyland, it happened as organically as our meeting. I simply was somewhere at a time, and I became aware of his art. I decided that I wanted to buy a piece of original artwork for Kristen. And Kristen loves flamingos. As anybody who knows Kristen knows, she loves flamingos. So I approached Wyland and Wyland's people, because he's world famous. I'm not that famous.
Not yet.
Not maybe. I think in a minute I'm gonna be.
Exactly.
So I approached Wyland's people and I told them what I wanted, and I wanted a picture of a flamingo. I didn't think anything of it. And so, sure, no problem. Here's the outrageous amount of money you're gonna have to pay for that. And you mean you just want one for yourself? Yes, that's what I want. Okay, it's going to be even more outrageous. So here's what that number is. And yes, we can make it for you. Okay, great. And then I get the call back. Wyland has never done a flamingo. Now,
so
being
this is
Chef
the only
Bob.
flamingo in existence made by Wyland. Ever.
Yes. So being Chef Bob, that did not faze me, and I didn't understand what the problem was. I said, awesome, that's great.
I trust
so
his
when
art
should I
to
have
make
it?
a flamingo.
Yeah, and they're like, no, you don't understand. He's never made one. We're not sure. He's not sure he can do it. I'm like, well, I already know he can do it because I'm sure he can do it.
Yeah, you're like, I've never had to make a 9-foot alien tree before.
Yeah, but guess what?
You did it. Happened. So Wyland
make the flamingo. And so he actually contacted me, and we had a conversation about the flamingo and what my thought was and what my vision was, and I gave him, as I should, complete artist license to do a Wyland flamingo. And so
there it is.
Got a Wyland flamingo.
First ever.
And so the first and only,
first
and only Wyland flamingo. So the minute I realized what the picture, because he was so sweet. He's the nicest, sweetest man. He would send me he would text me pictures of the art as it was happening, and he painted it while he was in Key West. And so it all started with this flamingo. So I said to him, you know what we need, Wyland? We need a Wyland coffee. And we talked about it, and he said, well, you know, we had a Wyland coffee a while back in California, and it didn't quite work out. So he said,
Bob
but
coffee.
You need a Wyland coffee. I said, the world needs. I said, what can we do together to make this happen? And I decided that we were going to give a portion of the proceeds from all of the Wyland coffee that we sell to help save the world's waterways. And so one of the things that I absolutely love about this coffee is that you are literally, by buying this coffee, first of all, enjoying this coffee, which is, of course, a sea salt caramel flavored coffee, you will literally help save the world's oceans one cup at a time.
And all of those whales and dolphins
and all of those
flamingos.
Wonderful animals that live in them. and so we are trying to save the world one cup at a time. But mostly we are just giving this flamingo the exposure that it clearly needs. So that flamingo, you've seen at my house, is massive. I had no idea. I thought it was going to be like, a little flamingo. Yeah, no.
Yeah, like the Mona Lisa. You get up close.
Yeah, it's the anti-Mona Lisa because it's more like, it's massive. So that is our collaboration with Wyland. That coffee is going to be available and released very, very soon. You'll see that on our website, as well as the coffee and candle collaboration, as well as the Jilly coffee. We'll have the Jilly coffee for sale on both of our marketplaces, so we'll have that everywhere that you can find it. We're alive and we're under construction. I think we have workers who are about to come through the ceiling. which I think would be super fun if the cameras were pointed that way.
I think the thing I like most about your coffee, aside from the flavor, is the little stories on all the backs of the bags. So there's so much detail and care that goes into all of these bags and all these blends and roasts. Every single one, like on all your standard artisan roasts, you have the John
The
Horrell
story,
art,
yeah.
the story about you and John, and the picture of you and John. On the Us bag, it's our story. On the Wyland one, it says a chef walks into a gallery. And so it's all very personal touches that you're not going to get from a lot of other
commercially made
coffee roasts. And when you buy all of these bags, you're supporting our efforts, our passions of making these things and distributing them out to. And now for Jillycakes, people who didn't have regular access can have a Jillycakes product in their homes. So.
I feel like it really does. It really is a culmination of the passions that I share about coffee with other artists. And it's all really about art. For me, it's all about art. It's about the handcrafted fine-tuning that we do to create something that's really, really special.
While we're on the topic of art and fighting the ceiling coming in on us.
It's an Ocean's 11 moment here happening, I think. Any minute.
Ocean's 11!
There
We're
it
saving all 11 of those oceans and Brad Pitt.
Who needs saving?
Who needs saving? I just wanted to talk super briefly about the products that we will have here.
Yes. Ooh, look at you did. Nice.
I'm like rearranging over here.
Yeah,
so
I'm
speaking about the artistry, when we are live, when we started designing what cupcakes we wanted to sell here out of Dolce, we sort of landed on like a signature 4 flavors. So couple chocolate, a fruit, a donut flavor, and then also because we are here next to beautiful Lake Eola, we have a signature swan-inspired cupcake. Anybody who has been around the lake knows that the swans are a big, big deal around here.
They are.
So there's it's a Madagascar vanilla bean custard in the middle.
Oh my gosh, I can see all the vanilla flecks.
And then the little
the icing
white
as well.
chocolate swan on there. And then we got the bourbon pecan donut, which is always a classic. Everybody loves that.
It's a miracle it's still sitting there.
Fried, glazed, filled with a bourbon custard. Who doesn't love that?
And Kristen was worried I wouldn't eat today.
And then we're making the comeback of strawberry champagne. So for years it was the most popular flavor, and then sort of strawberry cheesecake edged in on it because people are boring to some degree. But it's back, and I have no idea what's going on in the ceiling.
We're just gonna polish one time. Yeah, I'm hoping that they actually come through the ceiling. It's a snake. There's snake. Oh. So we have snakes. So not that you need to worry about it. There's no snakes on the plane.
Not that kind of snakes, just like
just the different
rotor-rooted ones. Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, so we have the strawberry champagne. This will also be served as a miniature cupcake on top of champagne.
And is that one of these little lovelies?
No, that's not one of those.
Nope. But wait, don't buy yet.
Yeah, don't talk about these yet.
No.
And then the signature dolce, which is a whipped ganache and sea salt. With a molten chocolate center. So this one's
lovely.
like all chocolate, the bourbon, the strawberry, your plain vanilla-ish, but zazzed up.
Yeah.
Zazzed up vanilla for those people.
It makes up in beauty what it lacks in content.
Yeah.
In originality.
Exactly. But the most exciting product that we're going to be having out of Dolce downtown is the little 4-pack of seasonal minis. Now,
so adorable.
Not only that, but these are what I call the party pack. Because they are all zazzed up with some sort of liquor or
my God.
So the first ever adults only product from Jillycakes. This is we're going to start when we open on the 13th with the holiday pack, which is a mulled wine cherry, a cinnamon whiskey gingerbread.
Oh my God.
Dark rum eggnog, and the peppermint moonshine chocolate peppermint. So.
How is that not the best gift you could give anybody, along with some Jillycakes coffee, which you're going to need after you eat all of these cupcakes?
Yeah, so we're going to have these 4 packs of seasonal flavors. They're going to change with the season. So we will have a New Year's pack coming out immediately after Christmas, and then into the springtime things, but those will be prepackaged, pre-assorted, and ready for just grab and go pick up. So if you need last minute gift ideas for people, drop off some of these to your people at work. Who wouldn't love that at their desk?
That's phenomenal. What a great
A
surprise.
little party pack.
Absolutely. And can folks pre-order any or all of this stuff?
Yeah, so these will be exclusive to walk-in retail for the Dolce location. But we will be doing larger party pack, like actual party packs.
Say
of
I
these
wanted
flavors.
to give 50 people
Correct.
this.
Yeah, we can.
I should call ahead.
You should call ahead. Yeah,
and,
we'll have
and make sure.
because they will be made fresh, so we'll have about like 30 to 50 available daily. But then if you need a large quantity, just give a call.
I could eat 50 of these
or an
myself.
email. I know.
So I have, on occasion, done that.
Of course. So the cute little 4-pack, and then also these will be available for single, 4-pack, 12 normal retail situation.
Perfect. Well, we need to wrap it up. We've taken up a whole lot of time and still have tons more things to talk about. So we'll have to get together again
and
do that. I think maybe in the future. I'm going to just again continue to pray Team Jilly. Hashtag Team Jilly. Hashtag Bakers in Toyland.
Yep.
Hashtag all the things that are going to make sure that you win. And we pray every night that you win.
And then we find that Goldilocks.
We find that Goldilocks.
The
And
Goldilocks
maybe they
cake.
stop giving you a hard time about the cake and the details because they make me mad.
Or
every
maybe
time.
they'll just be like, we're going to have a hard time with some other things. So the cake's going to be the least of the problems.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Well, we're going to sign off. I am Chef Bob Unks, and I am here with Jilly and Hopkey, and who I hope will be the winner of Holiday Wars on the Food Network. Everybody pray for that. And come to see Dolce Restaurant and Dessert Bar.
Yes.
On December 13th, here just adjacent to Lake Eola on East Central and
I'm saying the southeast corner of the lake.
the southeast corner of the lake. If you're directionally challenged like me, that means nothing.
The address
so you just
is
go ahead and you look
online.
it up and look it up online.
Yeah, and also I've changed the Jillycakes Google listing so the 500 East Central address is
the
live.
current address.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
That will take you here no matter what.
Awesome. So come visit here. Stay on TV and cheer her on.
Sunday night.
Buy some coffee. It's coffee and candles are the best holiday gift you can find. All of the things on this table are great holiday gifts. And thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. Love you. Wish you the best of luck in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time. Thanks.